and welcome. I am glad you have joined us. I'm Alexandra, your instructor and a senior technical trainer here at Microsoft. I have been teaching for over 10 years with the current focus on data and AI courses. I live in Paris and I speak 5 languages, so feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you would like to learn more or just say hello. I'm here to walk you through the course Create Agents in Microsoft Copilot Studio. In this session, we will learn how to enhance Microsoft Copilot Studio agents. Now that you have learned how to build an initial agent, it's time to take things further and explore how to make your agent smarter, more capable, and ready for real-world scenarios. So let's get started with this session. Before we dive in, just a quick reminder, all the content for this session is available on the Microsoft Learn website. It's a great resource for deeper insights, examples, and hands-on guidance, so be sure to check it out. Let's begin with our first topic, creating an agent flow. Agent flows are essential for designing smooth and efficient interactions. In this section, we'll walk through the steps and best practices to help you build flows that guide users clearly and effectively through each task. You can extend the capabilities of your custom agents by adding tools. These are powerful enhancements that allow your agent to do much more than just responding with predefined topics. So, what exactly are tools in Copilot Studio? Think of them as specialized gadgets that expand what your agent can do. They allow your agent to perform a wide range of tasks, from retrieving data to solving complex problems, making it more capable. There are several ways to add tools to your agent. You can use the pre-built connectors, which give you access to thousands of popular APIs from Microsoft and other services. You can also create custom connectors to link your agent to specific systems or services using Power Platform connectors. Another option is to define an agent flow, which includes one or more actions your agent can carry out. You can also use the prompt, which is single-turn model-based instructions that can reference knowledge you provide. If you need to connect to external systems, you can define a REST API connection, selecting the endpoints and methods you want your agent to use. And for more advanced scenarios, you can connect to an MCP server using the Model Context Protocol to access additional tools. By integrating these tools, you're giving your agent the ability to go beyond basic responses and truly assist users in meaningful, efficient ways. So, what exactly is an agent flow? In Copilot Studio, it's a sequence of steps your agent follows to complete a task. It defines the logic, interactions, and responses that guide users through a process, whether it's answering a question, retrieving data, or performing an action. Agent flows are especially useful when your agent needs to interact with other applications. For example, if a customer asks about the weather, the agent can pass their location to a weather service, retrieve the forecast, and respond with personalized information. These flows are powered by Microsoft Power Automate and can be added directly from the authoring canvas. You can use existing tools in your Power Apps environment or create new ones tailored to your needs. In Copilot Studio, agents and agent flows work hand in hand to create a seamless and efficient system. Agents are like the brain of the operation, designed to access information from various systems. They gather data, process it, and make decisions based on predefined rules and logics. Agent flows on the other hand, are the pathways that guide these agents through complex scenarios. They map out the steps an agent needs to take to handle different tasks, ensuring that each action is performed in the correct sequence. This orchestration allows for the automation of fixed components, making the entire process more streamlined and efficient. Together, agents and agent flows enable Copilot Studio to tackle intricate tasks, access and integrate information from multiple sources, and automate repetitive processes, all while maintaining a high level of efficiency. Now, let's see it in action. In this demonstration, you'll learn how to create an agent flow and use it as a tool in Copilot Studio. We'll walk through the interface, show you how to build the flow, and then integrate it into your agent. In this demo, we'll see how we can create agent flows in Copilot Studio. To do it, I am inside of my Copilot Studio. I will open the agents that we used so far, and this time I will select the Tools section on the top. There is no tool, as we didn't generate or didn't create them yet. I will click on Add a Tool. I can see different feature tool in the bottom part. And if I want, I can add the new tool on the right side, just right here. I will click on it. I can select agent flow in the middle. I also do have different options that you can see on my screen, like REST APIs or prompt. And here I will parameter when an agent calls the flow and respond to Copilot option as well. So we'll start with the when an agent calls the flow. We'll add an input. We'll use text as an input, and we'll need to enter our input. We'll select our bedrooms as an input. So let's start our agent flows, and we'll modify the input details. It will be number of bedrooms. Let's specify it on the right. And after, we can also add via the plus in the middle an action. So we'll select an action. We can search for an action here, or we can also search there for connector. If I type Dataverse, it will propose me everything that is available with Dataverse. I can click on See More. And here on my list, I do have an option that calls List Rows. It allows you to list the rows in the Microsoft Dataverse tables that match the selected options. I can select it and select the table inside of my Dataverse that it's already available. I will search for my property tables. I think I have it as a real estate properties. Each time that I type here, it will open me all the tables that I do have in my Dataverse. And here we are, it's the second table on my list. I will do select it. And after, I have a possibility to select columns, filter some rows, count some rows. And I will add the expression here that it will be Contoso bedrooms. Equivalent, I will select my entity here that are my bedrooms. To do so, I have an option on the right, and here you'll find my entity, number of bedrooms. We'll select it. You remember we created this entity in the previous demo. And if you scroll a bit down, we have an option to respond to Copilot. We'll click on it to add output, a desired output, and we'll create two parameters here. First, it will be our property ID, and we'll enter the value to respond with. Also, you do have an option to add a description, and I will use this time a function to add. I could write it myself, or I can create it with Copilot. And as I did create one function for one parameter, you'll also add the second parameter. Let's select our text parameter here. We'll provide it in name. As we do have property ID, the next one will be our property name. And on the right, I will add again a function. When I select here, you have a second option as a function. I added my parameter as a function, and it's all looks good. On our response to Copilot, we also have extra settings if we want. Those are available via the 3 dots on the top of our section Respond to Copilot, just right here. And we can go to More Settings and verify that our asynchronous response is deactivated by default. It refers to a delay reply mechanism where the agent initiates a process, like an API call or long-running task, and responds later outside the immediate flow. It's deactivated so we can save our draft and publish it now. To make this flow available, so just click on Publish, and it should take just a few seconds to make this flow published, and our agent flow is successfully added. We can stay in the flow or go back to agents. Let's go back to agent via the button. And now when I go to my overview section, I can see different details on the agent, but also I could go to the flow section to modify and edit some details about the flows that we just created. So first, it's always useful to provide a name to the flow that we just created together. Let's call it get property. And also we can add alternative description if you want. It's not mandatory. I will just save our agent flow. So now it does have a name and it's on. You see that it's updated it. We do have details that were modified. And if you come back to our agent, this is real estate booking service. On the overview page, I can scroll a bit down. Here I do have tools. And I can select inside of my tools flow, and I will find here the get property tools that we just created, and I will add this flow to our agent. We also have two options, add to agent or add and configure. If you go for add and configure, you can modify the setup that we just completed. And now it's visible in the tools part. And if we go back to the topic sections that we used in the previous demo, we can add this flow to one of the topics that we created. You remember that here we had a node, how many bedrooms do you need? We also had a time. And if I want, I can use our flow inside of this topic, and I will add between two questions our action. So it will activate our Power Automate feature. I will select number of bedrooms here, and you'll see that the output parameters are the same that we just parameter together. I can also add here our variable number of bedrooms, and it means that according to the number of bedrooms that my user will select, it will suggest different options to my user, my agent. So it's very nice. It makes it also more interactive, and I can add an extra node in my section that is called Edit Tool. Or if I want, I could even add a message according to what my user will specify in the previous node. It's up to you what you select. I will add, in my case, a message here. And if I want, I can use some variables that I selected. I remember that we did create together property name. So I will select property name here as in our outputs on our flow, and save it. So it will provide the property name based on amount of bedrooms. It's our target here, and to do it better, let's add another tool. So again, I'm in the tools section. I will add a tool, get a tool, agent flow, we saw just before. We do have two options to parameter when the agent calls the flow as a response to Copilot. I will just save this draft first. And when I save it, it's create me an overview section on which one I could modify the details, like a name. You remember in the previous step, I did it later, but if I want, I can also start by creating a name, but this time I need to save it to have an opportunity to do so. It's two ways of doing the same things that I just demo. This time I first created a name, and now I will parameter when an agent calls a flow. I will provide again the text input. We'll select property ID, and we'll also add an input part on the right. So the just property. The second one, it will be text. You remember that we need to know the information about our viewer name. So we'll enter this information and save it inside of our Dataverse in our tables. And the third one, after we know what is the property ID viewer name, we'll also have an information about email of the person who is visiting our property and description viewer email. Makes sense. We'll add after an action. You can search for an action. It's the easiest way. You can also see all. Again, I will use Dataverse to connect and retrieve information. And this time I will select a different option. If you look on the full list, we do have add a new row. So what I'm doing now, when the person book a visit, it will create a new row in our Dataverse table to the information about the new potential viewer of the property. And we'll select here our table booking requests. So each time when someone book, it will be automatically added inside. We'll also provide a booking name that it comes from agent booking. And if you look a bit here, we do have multiple parameters, advanced one. I can parameter advanced parameters straight away here in my Copilot Studio. Or if I want, I can also parameter them outside of Copilot Studio. It's up to me. I will select my property Contoso booking requests here. It will count my request. I can enter the data from the previous step. It will be our property ID that is just right here. And after, if I scroll a bit here, I could also add the rest of it just next to it. I can select multiple here, but also if I want, I can go to the viewer email section and viewer name to do so. It's quite simple. You will find it in your parameters. Just let me change the position. It's first email and after this the name. It's important. So first email and after that the name. Sorry about it. And if we go further, we can scroll a bit down to respond to Copilot part and check inside in our settings that again our asynchronous response is activated by default. So there is no delay in the reply mechanism, and we can save the draft. And after we save, we can test and run it after the publishing. So I will publish it to verify that it works well. So the idea here is that we retrieve some information about the user. We provide the user the properties that corresponds to the numbers of bedrooms. And after that, we create another flow that will save and add a row about our potential viewer inside of our Dataverse table. And to finalize our setup, we'll come back to tools. We'll find our get property tools that we just created, and we'll need to add the second tool that we just did together here. So we'll go again to the flow section. I will add create booking request agent flow here. I select it, I just click on it, add to agent. And now we do have two different flows available inside of our agent. One for getting properties according to amount of bedrooms. And second, creating booking request by adding row inside of our Dataverse table. We can come back to our topics here. So I'm switched from tools section to topics section. And inside of our topics, I will select book a real estate showing topic. And I will add another flow that we just designed here. And to do so, I will modify a bit existing information. I will add an extra node after what date and time our user want to visit it. And I will select our action create booking request. So it's mean after our user provided all information about the property that the user wants, so we'll specify here the property ID. It's our property. Let me select it in our variable. I have property ID here on the right. We'll retrieve this property ID to our Dataverse table by creating a row. We'll also retrieve the information about the name of our viewer. So I do have here a name as a variable. And we'll do retrieve email of the viewer by selecting our available email address. And it will create an action inside of our table by adding the information from our user. So I do have an action that was added. And if I want to continue, I could potentially add some other node here. Like, for example, going to another topic or ending the conversation and so on. It's up to me. Or I continue, or I just select end conversation. I can select it here and it will finish the conversation. My agent will just say thank you and create a row. So let's save everything that we just did. We did add to flow and publish it to the agent to test. Don't forget that you always need to publish it. It also reminds me about authentication type that I'm using currently, so I can verify it before publishing. And after it's published, we can just test that it works well. We do have now two actions inside, one by proposing the right property and second one by creating a row in our Dataverse with information about the booked visit. It takes a bit time to publish as we modified quite well our different nodes. And also each time when you finished your full communication with the agent, don't forget to select a topics redirection at the end if you want to end conversation or ask user something else. And let's just test that it's still working well. We'll start with scheduler real estate showing. I'll see on the left side how it's activate our first trigger. It's asking straight away the question, what is my name? Alexandra. After that, it's ask my mail address. We're going to the next node after. I'll add my email address. Here it's trigger our adaptive cards that we created before. I confirm that it's correct. You do see now that I do have options from closed list to select my type of a property. It's house. It triggers the next question, how many bedrooms? And by using actions, it suggests straight away what is the correct property for me to visit. You see that it's retrieved a property for me. And it's asking me my date and time when I want to see the property. And it suggests me the correct address. I verify it. And as soon as I confirm my visit, it will create a row in my Dataverse. So I will see all the visits coming to my property. And this way, we saw that we can use different flows to create action inside of our agent. I hope it was useful. Let's come back to our presentation. Let's now explore the concept of generative orchestration in agents. Generative orchestration is a powerful approach where agents, whether software programs or AI systems, collaborate intelligently to accomplish complex tasks. These agents use generative models to predict, adapt, and respond to various scenarios, making their interactions more dynamic and efficient. This concept isn't limited to just one field. It's being applied across artificial intelligence, robotics, logistics, and even healthcare, transforming how tasks are performed and improving outcomes. In Copilot Studio, agents can operate using either generative orchestration or classic orchestration. By default, newly created agents use generative orchestration. This allows the agent to automatically select the most appropriate tools, knowledge sources, topics, or even other agents to respond to user queries or event triggers. Classic orchestration, on the other hand, relies on matching users' input to predefined trigger phrases. The agent responds by activating the topics that most closely match the query. So how should your agent respond? With generative orchestration, the agent can make real-time decisions to deliver the most relevant response. You can also set the content moderation level to ensure that responses are appropriate for your audience. It's a good practice to let users know that some parts of the conversation, like question generated, when running a tool, may be AI generated. You can do this by adding a message in the conversation start system topic, which controls the greeting shown when a new conversation begins. Let's talk about content moderation. In Copilot Studio, this feature helps define how relevant and appropriate the agent's response should be. There are 3 levels to choose from: high, medium, and low. High is default setting, generates fewer responses but ensures high relevance and strict filtering. Explicit language, hate speech, and graphic content are not tolerated. Medium allows for a broader range of responses. Through some may be less relevant. Mild profanity might be permitted, but anything more severe will be flagged. Low generates the widest range of responses, including casual language and mild humor. However, it still flags anything that crosses a clear line of decency. These moderation settings help tailor the agent tone and behavior to suit different environments, ensuring a safe and respectful experience for all users. Now, let's see how this works in practice. In this demonstration, you will learn how to enable generative AI to your agent. These steps will help your agent deliver more accurate, context-aware responses and improve its overall performance. In our next demo, we will see how we can use generative AI in Microsoft Copilot Studio. To do so, I will select my real estate booking service. On Overview page, I do have orchestration, but this time I will go to Settings. And in Settings, the first option, it's also about my orchestration. It's saying that all responses will be dynamic by default because I used my generative AI orchestration. If I want to change the settings, I can also enable authentication with Microsoft. I will do it now because I will deploy later our agent to Teams. It's always nice to have this option if you want to deploy to Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, on Power Apps, or Microsoft 365 Copilot. And also, if you come back to our agent, you will see that this orchestration is available on Overview page. And when we go to the topics, we do have our Gen AI available. And if you want to use it inside of our Gen AI, first of all, it's a reminder that we can use Copilot here. We see that by default, it's already here, create generative answer by conversational boosting. So I didn't need to set up, it was already enabled by default. And the same for multiple part of my agent, as I have the generative AI enabled by default, I can use it for multiple reasons. For example, I can use it in the topic boosting. I can also add a specific knowledge source here. I'll select our Dataverse table. You see that you can select up to 15 items. Inside, it did add my real estate property here. I can also combine my data sort with multiple one. I will go to my downloads and add also a document here. So I will use multiple data sources. I will upload my file. I will wait a bit that it's charged. And after it charged, you do see that we have multiple knowledge sources that we mix. We have public website, files, and Dataverse, all of them together. In our generative AI in Microsoft Copilot Studio, it's capable to work between all three data sources. And if we want, we can also specify for GenAI what to do. For example, to use specific data source on the fallback with GenAI together. For it, I will go to advanced feature. I will create an generative answer node. You saw that this node was enabled by default on some topics, or I can add it also here manually, for example, for the fallback. And when I go here, I could search inside of my variables and select activity tag string and select a specific data source from which one my node will retrieve the information. And it's really cool because I not only specify that I want to use a generative AI in Microsoft Copilot Studio, but also I specify on which data source I want to do it. I can activate search only selected resources that I added before. And here I can highlight which data source I want to use to create generative AI answers. And I can just check here real estate property for this specific topic as a fallback. I want that my agent generate a text answer and sends a message based on the information only that it will find inside of this real estate property. I will save it. So we saw two cases. In one, the generative answer node was already pre-created for me in one topic, or I can also add it when I want here. And if we want to go even further, we can use activity map to see how it works, that it's retrieve the information from specific source and it's use generative AI. And also, if you want to go further, as I mentioned during this model, we can also parameter in moderation settings for our GenAI. In settings, generative AI do have moderation, and by default it's high here. It's what I will have for default. But if I want, I can change the settings and also specify the specific content that I want to flag by content moderation. So you can write what specifically you want to flag, and also you can modify the content moderation for your GenAI feature by specifying it's here. I hope it was very useful for you. So let's come back now to our presentation and continue. That brings us to the end of our 5th session. In this session, we focused on creating agents flows to handle complex scenarios. We introduced the generative orchestration feature, which allows agents to respond intelligently using tools, knowledge, and other resources. By leveraging this feature, you can ensure your agents deliver more accurate and relevant responses, even in challenging situations. You have now gained the skills to build agent flows, integrate tools, and use knowledge sources effectively. This enables your agents to respond to user queries and event triggers with greater precision and flexibility. This concludes our session. I hope you will join us as we journey through this course. I encourage you to watch other videos in this course or search out your next favorite topic on Microsoft Learn at ak.ms/learn. Thank you and see you soon. Bye everyone.